Okay. So, hello, everybody. My name is Robin Sullivan. I am a very blessed diamond ambassador with Plexus, and this is our work from home workshop. We do this once a month, and it is really an opportunity for us to share with you how simple the process is of sharing Plexus, getting your products paid for, and really the sky is the limit with this opportunity. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But one of the things that our amazing president and one of our founders of Plexus, Alec Clark, always says, he says, if you're blessed, then be a blessing. And so all of us who are already within the Plexus community, we 100% feel like Plexus has been a blessing on so many different levels, financial being one of the pieces, but not at all. Most of what we gain from Plexus is the community, the personal growth, and so many other aspects to really achieve total body health and wellness in all areas and all walks of life, both spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. And so a lot of times we do wonder when we're talking to our friends and family about the health aspect of Plexus and the product line and how much you can really focus on getting your body healthy from the inside out physically. We also would be remiss if we didn't share with you how it would be such a blessing for you to have a little bit of ease in your budget. And one thing I know, I just did a post about this a couple minutes ago, how much it was a blessing to me when I first started Plexus almost 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years, September 3rd, when I got my first paycheck with Plexus, a paycheck of $76. And I was so excited because all I did was just share with a friend or two. I mean, I hadn't even gone silver, so I hadn't gotten any of my rank up bonuses. I just shared with a couple friends, and how much of a blessing it was for me to have just that little bit of extra margin in my budget. I had a 3-year-old and 6-year-old at the time. They're obviously younger here. They just started their first day of school today, my 2 girls, and they are now 16 and 13. And so they've grown up with this amazing opportunity in our household. And so that is the goal for tonight, is just to help you to see how much Plexus can be a part of a blessing being in your family too. So I started Plexus, like I said, almost 10 years ago. I started with the number one goal of gaining willpower over food and losing a few pounds. And what I ended up getting was that and so much more. So when I started Plexus, I was a stress out assistant principal of a high needs school. I live in a suburb of Dallas. I was a principal in McKinney, Texas. And this is what I look like, this picture on the far left. I was very fluffy and had a lot of inflammation, didn't even realize it at the time. Still was carrying a little bit of baby weight, quote unquote. It wasn't, it was just stress, Wendy's weight, right? Fast food weight, that's what it was. And I started taking Plexus truly for weight loss. I had no idea there was an opportunity attached to it. I did join for the deepest discount simply because it made sense. It was like, okay, I get the biggest bang for my buck if I start with the products at the cheapest cost. And I knew that it was going to take me longer than 3 or 4 months to get off the pounds, because it took me longer than 3 or 4 months to pack them on. And so you can see a couple of photos throughout my journey, just how much of a transformation was made within just my face alone, much less the rest of my body. But I ended up losing 30 pounds and 30 inches. I gained more energy, definitely gained more willpower over food, knocked my soda addiction. My vices were Dr. Pepper and French fries. So that has really helped along the way. Now, a lot of people ask when they get started and we talk to them about sharing Plexus with people. Most of the time, people get started with the wholesale membership. And when you start with the wholesale membership, yes, you're getting the products at the lowest cost, but you also you have the opportunity to share Plexus, because everybody gets a replicated website. Everybody gets really a turnkey business for that price. If you decide that you actually share and you want to get paid income, which we'll talk about in a little bit, then you do have to upgrade to become brand ambassador, but in your first year, it doesn't cost you any more. And so it really is a win-win for everybody. But when I explain the wholesale membership to people, a lot of times people don't even honestly realize, because the membership fee is only $9.95. It used to be $39.95, and we've had it discounted for some time now. And so a lot of times people don't even talk about the wholesale membership, because you're basically getting it for free, because most of the time you're getting started with some sort of promotion or sale that Plexus runs from month to month, okay? But the wholesale membership essentially means that you're getting the products at the cheapest cost. So it's just like you joining Costco or Sam's. Do you have to order a specific combo every single month for you to keep your wholesale membership? No, you do have to have a subscription run in order for you to be able to get all the benefits of Plexus. And that is the purpose of really having the wholesale membership. But another really big benefit of having the wholesale membership, y'all, is if you're going to take these products at all, it is highly recommended that you at least give the products 90 days. If you are not thinking about the long-term implications of healing your body from the inside out by repairing and healing your gut, by focusing on decreasing systemic inflammation in your body, and by focusing on balancing your blood sugar, that can only happen over time. It does not happen in just 25, 30 days. And so a lot of times when we ask people or we tell people about the wholesale membership is because we fully expect for people to give this a real go. And that means you're going to be spending at least 3 to 6 months trying the products and really seeing all the things that the products can do for you to turn your health around. Okay. But with that wholesale membership, you get your 10% off your initial product pack, which is 10% cheaper than even the wholesale cost. And most of the time we have a special code to give to you in order to get that deeper discount, which covers the $9.95 membership. And then when you get started, you also get 250 perks points. The perks points is simply giving you the opportunity to earn credits towards free products. So it's kind of like a loyalty program. So every time you have a subscription of $100 PV or more go through, you are earning credit towards more free products. So by your third month, you have enough to redeem for some other free product that maybe you have never tried before. And we really encourage you to use that perk system, take advantage of that, because it's a great opportunity for you to expand kind of your knowledge and your experience with some of the other products. Oops. So a lot of times people ask, well, I mean, I don't even really know how to share. I'm not a salesperson. It's the number one thing I hear most from people. I'm not a salesperson. And I can totally identify with that statement because I hands down have never done any sales in my life outside of this business. I never worked retail. I've only been an educator and a therapist. That's all I've ever done. And so when I started Plexus, I didn't know how to share. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that there were people in my sphere of influence who needed the products. And so this is just a really quick graphic to show you the people that you need to really be thinking about. Who could you be sharing with? Who should you be thinking of? Who do you know? So all the people that are in your close sphere of influence, which is on the far left, everybody that you know who has health needs, which is newsflash, every single person you know, they all have something that Plexus can help with. And anyone who needs income from home or just wants to create more margin in their budget, which newsflash is probably everybody you know as well, because who wouldn't turn down an extra $300 to $500 a month? So at the end of the day, a lot of times people have this visualization or this idea or this preconceived notion about network marketing, that it is about like literally cold calling hundreds and thousands of people, having to, talk to random folks on the street. And that's not really what this is. Could you go do those things? 100%. But we are really connectors, and we want you to establish a connection first with people. We know that we are sharing Plexus, and we know at the end of the day that we are selling a product to people, but we don't want to come across as traditional salespeople. So we are sharers. We talk a lot about being sharers, and more than that, we are really connectors. Because at the end of the day, I have really built a successful business because my interactions and my connections with people is not really ever tied to an outcome. Do I always want people to consider taking a look at Plexus because I know what it can offer to them? 100%. But my interactions with people aren't predicated on the fact if they do or if they don't take a look at Plexus, then that is going to put me in some sort of crazy emotional state, right? So I've gotten off of the emotional roller coaster, and I really am truly wanting to connect with people. And that's what we teach our team. So when we talk about supporting with connection messaging, we want to look at really what that looks like. So you want to share with people you know right away, okay? There are people that are your close sphere of influence, your friends, your church members, your line sisters, your co-workers, people who you do life with, people in your neighborhood, people that are in your close sphere. Those are the people you initially want to share with because you already have a connection with them, okay? And then over time, if you continue to be a part of Plexus and you continue to want to build your business, it is going to be really important that you are intentional. The key word here is intentional about creating new friends, making new friends. And so that may not be something that you typically do now. I do hear a lot of adults saying, I got enough friends. I got enough friends. And I always want to really encourage people, especially if you're a believer, that God really has created us for community, right? We're created for community. And so it should always be something that's on your mind, whether you're building a business or not, that we should be salt and light. We should be connecting with people. We should be talking to people on a consistent basis, right? Just for the sake of connecting. And if the outcome of that is that they want to hear more about Plexus, or you happen to share Plexus with them because something comes up that makes you think of them, that's great. But we really do want you to be intentional about making new friends, making new connections daily. Okay, so our wellness and our launch events and our virtual meetings. This is a big, big way that we are able to share Plexus right off the bat when you get started. So a lot of times people do this through in-person events. A lot of times people do this through virtual meetings. During COVID, it was the only way that we built our business. The only way that we shared Plexus was virtually. And that was the biggest and most massive explosive success that our team has ever experienced, is during that time frame, because everything was virtual. And so you really do have a very vast stance and reach of the people that you can touch when you do things virtually, but nothing ever replaces in person. And so if you have been invited to this call and you're thinking about sharing Plexus, ask the person who invited you to this call, or whoever introduced you to Plexus, about doing something in person. Many times, a lot of us travel to our teams. We will go and make an event and help you to host your first event. I know my first diamond on my team, Rhea Moore, a large part of her initial success in her first 60 days of Plexus, not even 60 days, first 6 weeks of her being in Plexus, was I traveled to Houston and helped her host her first launch event. And so this is something that you really want to consider, and invite as many people as you can, because your sponsor is really able to help you facilitate this. So all you have to do truly is to invite your friends and family. Now, once you do your launch event, or you do multiple events, let's just say you kind of get into a groove and you kind of like doing these launch events, or you start inviting people to the events that our team does, which we'll talk about in a second. The other way that you connect with people and that you share Plexus with people is through social media. Guys, e-commerce, social selling, social sharing, affiliate marketing, all that's really kind of one and the same. Everybody is doing it. Whether you are linked up with Amazon and you have a like it to know it account and you're sharing things and you're getting paid like some sort of small kickback for sharing whatever XYZ product, everybody is wanting a piece of this pie. And with Plexus, you honestly get paid way more, and you are actually representing something that you truly believe in, something that you truly take, and something that is absolutely life-changing for people. And that's really the difference between me deciding that I'm going to share, reviews about products on Amazon and getting paid some sort of kickback, as opposed to me sharing Plexus, something that I 100% believe in and I 1,000% back. And something that is life-changing. That's really the difference between those two types of affiliate or social selling markets. And so when you're posting about Plexus, you really do want to think about the biggest goal that you have on social media at all times, whether you're doing Plexus or not, is to add value. It is always going to benefit you to be thinking about adding value at all times, because most people, if you are adding value to someone, you're able to influence them more. If you're going on social media, you're just kind of throwing crap on social media and hoping that it sticks, that's not really going to work. But if you honestly are thinking about, what can I do to educate my Facebook audience or my Instagram audience? What can I do to empower my audience? What can I do to entertain my audience? Because most people are hopping on social media, they're hopping on after work or during their lunch break as a wind down, or they're wanting to escape from the real world for a few minutes. They're wanting to live vicariously through their friends and family, see what's going on with their friends and family in a way that they want to connect. And also people are on social media because they want to be inspired. They want to, a lot of times people look at social media because that's their form of news. That's how they learn. That's how they grow. They look at social media. They're not reading books. So they're learning through looking at social media. And so you have a really rich opportunity to be adding value to people every single day. These are just a few more examples of different posts that you can do. They don't have to be salesy. They don't have to look spammy. It's really just you educating, empowering, and sharing health and wellness, sharing your life with people, sharing your new lifestyle with people, your new healthier lifestyle, and really helping to also entertain people with some of the things that you post. It's the reason why it's really great to have a healthy balance of maybe posting a funny meme, maybe posting a really fun question about kids going back to school, right? People like to share their opinion. So doing call to action posts, that's a way that you can continuously engage people in your Facebook feed. So after you've done your initial launch event and you've done maybe a couple of in-person events, and now you're starting to get consistent with posting, a lot of times people are like, well, what's next? I've done that, I've done this, and I'm not diamond yet. And they're like, what happened? Well, you just have to continue doing those small, what seems insignificant menial tasks. Those things seem small in the moment, but the reason why I've had and experienced so much success in this business, because I've done those things over and over and over again for a decade now. And so when you think about the sales statistics in any market, the fortune is 100% in the follow-up. Okay. I didn't know anything about sales. Like I told y'all at the beginning of this call, nothing, I knew nothing about sales. But when I saw and read this graphic that talked about how 48% of salespeople never follow up with the prospect. So they reach out to them one time and then they never follow up again. But 80% of sales are made in the 5th to 12th contact. That let me know the only way that I could lose in something like this is if I quit. Because if I continue to stay the course, if I continue to do the follow-ups that were necessary to get people to see what I saw in the opportunity, see what I see in the amazing, powerful nature of our products and effectiveness of our products, that eventually there would be a good enough number of people that would see what I saw. And honest to goodness, I can say that that is 100% true, because 10 years later, I have over 15,000 people on my team, and it would not have happened. I would have never been able to create that big of a ripple in my community had I not known or understood the power of follow-up. Now, one of the things, hold on. One of the things that I want to share next with you is some of our resources. So a lot of times people say in their minds, as I'm talking at this point, they're like, well, I don't know all this stuff that this girl is saying, and I don't know how to do all these things, and I don't know how to speak to the products or the opportunity like this. So how am I ever supposed to be able to do this? And what I would say to you is it is best that you not know all of these things by heart and can say it in your sleep, because what is really going to attract people to what you're doing is if what you're doing looks like it is duplicatable. Okay. Because in this business, you have to be able to duplicate your own personal efforts. Okay. When I first started this business, I learned that it's better for you to duplicate and get 100 people to do a little bit than to get 3 or 4 people to do a lot. Okay. It is absolutely better for you to leverage 1% of 100 people's efforts than to leverage 100% of your own effort. That is what this business is about. And so you don't want to be the expert. Okay. You want to be able to use third-party tools. So there's videos, there's info sheets. We have a Plexus Go app that has tons of information in it that you should be downloading. It's a free app that you can log into and learn a lot more about Plexus right on your own. You also have a Plexus YouTube worldwide YouTube channel that's great, full of information, full of tons of videos. You have a back office that has tons of information for you to learn and grow. And obviously we have a lot of support groups. We have a support group, a testimonials page called Journey to Health and Happiness. We have an amazing page called A Team Made for More. That's our larger team page. And we also have a page called Leading with Excellence. That is our business builder page. So if you are serious about building your business, then you just need to ask your sponsor about the qualifications to be a part of that business building page. But other than that, you probably have other team pages that you've been invited to. Plus, we have a lot of corporate pages that are there to support you. The other thing that we have is we have a standard schedule. We have a master schedule that we pretty much hold true to this schedule. There's times every now and again that things kind of get switched up. For the most part, this is a standing, tried and true schedule for our team. And so if you want to get plugged in, if you want to learn more, if you want to be able to invite people to opportunity calls or to learn more about the business or to learn more about the products, there's always opportunities for you to grow. These three graphics, or at least the first two, really got me going when I first started this business. Like I said, I started in 2013, 14, and this was the first graphic that I ever saw about the business. It didn't look this beautiful. It's now been remade. It was it was really not this cute at all, but it basically told the story of how you can build an amazing and sustainable business with the power of three. And all that really means is it starts with you having a goal of sharing with three people and helping those three people go share with three people and helping those three people go share with three people. And when you're able to do that, that is called duplication. Okay. And that is you leveraging 1% of 100 people's efforts instead of you leveraging 100% of your own. Because a lot of people, they can't imagine, how could I ever go diamond? How could I ever go senior gold? How could I get 50 of my own friends to join my team? People think that, and I thought that was completely impossible. Well, it kind of was. So for some people, there are anomalies, they can make it happen. But for me, that was impossible. When I went senior gold, I didn't have 50 of my own friends join me. I had a lot of my friends join me, but I also had a lot of my friends' friends joining them. And that is how you make a business like this work. Okay. Now, a lot of people start thinking about and dreaming about Plexus when they're asked the question, if time or money were no object, and we'll talk a little bit more about this on our next call. But if time or money were no object, what would you be doing with your life? What would you be doing? And a lot of people start to think, man, what could I do? I'm so sorry. It just keeps clicking. What could I do with an extra $5,000 a month? Or what could I do with an extra $1,700 a month? A lot of people their whole world could change with an extra $300 to $500 a month. There was a study that was done many years ago when I first started at Plexus, and they studied people who filed for bankruptcy. They basically interviewed all these people that filed Chapter 11, and they asked them, they said, what would have made the difference for you not to have filed for bankruptcy? And they said an additional $300 to $500 a month, having that little bit extra margin in my budget would have prevented me from having to file for bankruptcy. And so I want you to really understand this business. Yes, a lot of people have the opportunity, really anybody who's wanting and willing could get to the top of this company, to get to diamond where I am. But a lot of people won't. A lot of people don't want to do the work. A lot of people don't want to press themselves to grow in the way you have to grow to be able to lead a large organization. However, there are a lot of people who want to have $300 to $500 extra $100 in their budget, or $300 to $500 extra margin in their budget every single month. And so those are the people you're really trying to reach initially. Now, we also have a lot of really great perks, like our Leaders Retreat contest. It ends this month. We've been doing this contest now for the past 3 months. This is our last and final month. And we have so many people from our team already who have earned an all expense paid cruise to Labadee, Haiti. We are super excited because Plexus, the company, has chartered this entire cruise ship, Celebrity Cruise Ship, and we will all be setting sail in the beginning of November. And these are just one of many, many perks that Plexus offers us for simply sharing health and happiness with others. So we're going to end with this. I really just want you to think about the number of people in your sphere of influence who truly could benefit from getting their body healthy from the inside out by focusing on healing and repairing their gut, focusing on really addressing the systemic inflammation in their body, and really, really focusing on balancing their blood sugar naturally. Think about that just out the gate. Who in your sphere of influence could benefit? Also, I want you to think about the people in your sphere of influence who are just sick and tired of being sick and tired. That was me. I had a great life. I had a great job, a secure job, but I was stressed. I was tired of pouring into other people's kids more than I was pouring into my own kids. And that's what made me take the leap of faith. That's what made me bet on myself. And so I really want you to ask yourself, taking chances, yes. Doing something untraditional and non-traditional like Plexus or network marketing in general, it is scary, but there is something that is much, much scarier than you taking a leap of faith and you doing something really non-traditional like social selling, educating your friends and family about health and wellness. The most important thing and the scariest thing is that you may be missing out on something that is incredibly special, something that could have changed your life because you were too scared to give it a go. And so if anything, I just want you to walk away encouraged that every single person who's on this call who has taken a leap of faith, who has shared Plexus, who has started building their own business and wants to build their own dream instead of building somebody else's dream, all these individuals had to make that same decision. They decided they were going to do it afraid. And now they're on the other side of that, or they're even in the middle of it and they're growing through it. And I can bet my bottom dollar, most of the individuals on this call who are on the journey with me, they are grateful for it. So I appreciate each of you guys hopping on the call. We're going to jump right in to our vision casting calls. I'm going to stop the screen share really quick just so y'all can see my face. And I'm going to jump right in. Before I do that, I want to see, do we have any questions? I'm going to stop my video real quick because I got to go shut my door because my dog just busts up in my door in my office all the time. But does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? I'm still here. I'm just closing my door.
I do. I want to know, so the information sheets, is that a good idea to post those on social media? Is that what you're saying?
Well, okay. I'm sorry, Rhea. You said the information sheets. Give me exactly an example of like, is it one that you've seen that you're asking about?
Yes. Yes. I was surfing around a website and it has different information sheets, such as the pink drink, such as the triplex combo, and it gives a breakdown of what it does for the body and information about, you know, the ingredients and whatnot. Are those particular information sheets good to post on online?
I personally wouldn't, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't want to give out all the information before I'm able to connect with somebody.
Okay.
So
okay.
What I really try to do on social media is I'm really truly like selling myself. I'm selling like the story of Plexus, like what Plexus is helping me to become, what Plexus is helping me to do, how Plexus is making my life easier, how Plexus is helping to make my life healthier, whatever. That's really what I'm sharing. And I'm sharing obviously other people's stories too, testimonies and things of that nature, because honestly, facts tell, but stories sell. So I'm wanting to constantly tell a story about Plexus, but the facts of Plexus, like the ingredients and this is that and the other, that is what I share in a conversation with someone. And I would share that privately. Does that make sense?
Okay. Thank you for that.
You're so welcome. That's a very good question. But I keep all those things in my back pocket to be able to share with people once I've connected with them through my post or if they've reached out to me or if I've reached out to them. So hope that's helpful. Anybody else have a question?
Thank you.
You're welcome, Rhea. Anybody else have a question before I move right into our vision casting? Because I see we have a few new people on the call and I want to make sure I give them an opportunity for me to connect with them. Anybody else have a question? Okay. So we're going to move right in. We normally don't have the same Zoom ID, but I felt like we should probably have the same Zoom ID. So I changed the Zoom ID so we would just parlay right into this next call. But typically we don't even have this call on the same night. We just did that this month for scheduling reasons. But so this portion of the call really gives me the opportunity to share a little bit more about my journey. I shared a little bit on the work from home workshop. Some of you might just be hopping on, so I'll share it. It may sound a little bit redundant for some of you. And then it really gives me an opportunity to get to know some of you who are new to the team, who are just thinking about, maybe you've started sharing, maybe you're thinking about sharing. And so it really gives me an opportunity to get to know you. So I don't want you to feel shy about unmuting yourself when I open that portion of the call up, because it is an opportunity for me to connect with you. Okay. So like I said in the other call, I started Plexus almost 10 years ago. It was September 3rd, 2013. And just had the desire to lose weight, gain willpower, food, knock my soda and my French fry addiction. That was it. That's all I wanted to do. I started with a deep discount. So I joined wholesale because I knew it was going to take me longer than a couple months to get the pounds off, because I had gained a considerable amount of weight. And I was really, honestly, more inflamed than anything. That was the crazy part about my journey. I didn't even realize I was suffering from major inflammation until I started Plexus. And so, one thing I would really encourage you to do is take side by sides, like take your befores. A lot of people, they don't want to do that. They're like, I'm never going to share it with anybody. Do it for yourself. If nothing else, do it for yourself, because seeing is believing. And so when you're looking at yourself every day in the mirror, you don't feel like anything's wrong. You're like, oh, this is what I look like. But as soon as you put that side by side after about 60, 90 days, you're like, oh, okay, this is what was going on with me. And that made a huge difference in building my belief in the products and what they were doing at a cellular level, and really the transformation that was happening even when the scale wasn't moving much in the beginning. Okay. So started taking the products, 100% started feeling better within the first couple of weeks, just better energy. I did have a little bit of detox in the beginning. I don't share that part of my story a lot because I honestly forget about it most of the time, but I did have 3 or 4 days, probably 3 to 5 days, where I started to feel like, I'm feeling kind of weird. I don't know if this is, but it was really just my body adjusting. So when you have people that join you, or if you're new and you're feeling kind of, you just have to play around with the product. So let your sponsor help you troubleshoot. Okay. It is our job to help you troubleshoot. Everybody's body responds differently to plant-based supplements. Everybody's body responds differently when you start taking all of the extra pills, and you stop eating all the processed foods, and you stop automatically going to the steroids or antibiotics whenever you don't feel good. Your body is going to respond a little bit differently. And so I just encourage you to let your sponsor help you work through the products and making sure that you get the best fit. So continue to take the products. 7 months in, lost 30 pounds. I started sharing almost immediately, though. And the reason why I started sharing is because the lady that introduced me to Plexus, she showed me her paper check. Back in the day, we got paper checks. She showed me her paper check, and her paper check was $500. And I was like, what? Like, how'd she make $500? Like, what did she do? Like, what could she possibly have done to make $500? Because this lady was kind of honestly very shy. Like, she wasn't honestly a people person. And she was at work with me all day long. Like, we literally work 50 to 70 hours a week. So I was like, she can't be pounding the pavement. She can't be going door to door. So what is she doing? And so I asked her, and she said, oh, I've just posted on social media. And I was like, huh? And I was on Facebook, but I was probably a social media snob because I never friended people. The only time I made a new friend on Facebook is if they friended me, and I would accept their friend request. I was never seeking out friendships, wasn't trying to experiment, wasn't doing any of those things back then. And I really wasn't on social media that much. I was a creeper. So I would scroll and I would look and I would read, but I really wouldn't like people's posts. I mean, it was just, just a Facebook snob, honestly. And so when I decided that I would give this a whirl, I knew like, oh, I've got to change kind of my behavior on social media, because that was not what I was doing previously. So I figured out early on that social media is a free marketing tool. So I was like, I'd be pretty dumb to not use it. Like, and I don't mean that in a harsh way, but that's truly how I felt. I was like, it would be not smart for me to not share on social media. So I got over my fears and anxiety about sharing really quickly. And I just cut to the chase and I started sharing. So the very first day that I ordered my product, I didn't even have product. I posted this horrible, grainy, pixelated picture of this little baby on a scale. And it was saying that, I wanted to lose my baby weight, even though my youngest daughter was almost 4 years old when I started Plexus. And so everybody knew good and darn well that it wasn't any baby weight that I was still holding on to. It was just straight up fat. And so I just transparently shared on social media. I was like, I'm excited about this journey. I'm posting this for accountability. I'm excited to see where this will take me. If anybody wants more information, let me know. It was very casual. And from there, I really started getting some interest. Like, people started asking, well, what is this? And people thought I got hacked and all the things. And so continue to share. I knew it wasn't going to be a one and done. I think that's what a lot of people do. They share once and then they don't share again. They're like, oh, I shared once and it didn't work. And it's like, does anything work like that? Does anything work like you do it one time and then you're supposed to hit the jackpot? No. And so I continue to be really consistent with my posting. I did do that. It was one thing I knew I could do because I was really working very long hours. And so when I would come home, I would be bringing work home, like work as assistant principal. I would bring that work home, and it wouldn't be until like late at night that I would respond to people's life. People like my posts or messages. And so that was really how I built the first 7-8 months of my business, the whole 2013-14 school year. And so by the end of that school year, I was making half of what I made as an assistant principal. That was what I was making with Plexus. And that's what made me make a decision to walk away from my career in education as an assistant principal, because I truly realized, well, man, if I'm doing this, if I'm making this amount of money casually sharing Plexus, yeah, please get the dog. If I'm making this money casually sharing Plexus, what would happen if I actually put my nose to the grindstone and I shared it and treated this like a real business and not just like a hobby? And so at that point, I realized it was worth my sanity to walk away from my career. I did have the ability to walk away. I did have to make some sacrifices because I lost half of my income. And I started treating it like a business. And it was the best decision I've ever made career-wise, because it gave me a freedom that I never thought I would experience until, honestly, I was at the age of retirement, which would have been like 70 something, because I started in the educational field pretty late. Most people start at 21. I was like 27 when I started teaching, because I was a therapist before that. And so I really, really decided at that point, if I treat this like a business, I could take this all the way. And so I just put my head down and I got focused. And a year after I walked away from my career in education, I became a jewel in the company. If you were on the previous call, it kind of shows the ranks, and one of the top leadership positions in the company is Emerald. When you become an Emerald is when you start making a six-figure income, which was way more than I was making as assistant principal, quite frankly. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess that's my goal, is to get to Emerald, right? Because that would have been a huge blessing for my family. I was able to work from home, which was my biggest desire, was to be there and more present for my girls at the time, who were 3 and 6. And I had the ability to honestly take it all the way if I wanted to, which in education, if you know any educators, you can only go so far. I mean, you're a teacher, you get these little step increases, you make a little bit more that basically may cover inflation, not even that. And that's really it. That's all you get. And you do that for 30 years, and then you walk away with a pretty sweet retirement, but that's what you're working for, is like a cushiony retirement. That's really it. And so for me, I knew I wanted more. I knew I could make a bigger impact. And so when I got to Emerald, also at the rank of Emerald, not only are you making a six-figure income, they reward you with an incentive trip every year, either to Hawaii. A couple years we've gone to Mexico. This year we're going to Mexico. And I mean, I really hate what's happened in Maui, because we went to Maui at least 5 years. We went to Maui, and it's such a beautiful place. But I am glad that we're not going to Maui this year, because that trip would have been completely canceled, because we're leaving in just 3 weeks. But this year we are going to Mexico. So that is a reward trip that you receive every year that you reach that rank. And then you also are given the ability to be a part of a bonus pool that only jewels are a part of. So it's kind of like a profit sharing pool. So that's why you're able to make a six-figure income. Then once you get to Sapphire, you get an additional bump as far as a profit sharing pool that you're a part of, that just only Sapphires are a part of. And then when you get to Diamond, you get that. And you also get a Plexus Lexus. I forgot to tell you about that. You get a Plexus Lexus. You either could get a lifestyle bonus where they pay you a certain amount just for you to go. If you want to go buy a boat, go buy a boat. If you want to buy a motorcycle, go buy a motorcycle. If you want to buy a Tito Nito and drive, a 4-cylinder car, with that's, I don't know, electric car, and you want to be, eco-friendly, you can go do that. And then if you want to drive a Lexus, they give you a little bit more of a bonus, because that is our Plexus Lexus. That's kind of our signature vehicle. And so those are the perks of becoming a jewel in the company. Now, could you experience life change without getting all the way to Emerald, Sapphire, and Diamond? 100%, because I experienced life change when I was gold. When I was able to walk away from my career in education and be home with my children, I hit the jackpot. Like, you can tell me nothing. And I go back and I look at those. I'm so serious. I look at those Facebook posts when I had just walked away from my career in education. I was a gold ambassador, but I was just so excited. I was so excited to just be able to go to lunch in the middle of the day, to not be in an office that had no windows. Like, there's so much freedom that you can experience just by making some different choices with the way you choose to live your life. Like, we have a lot more choices than we think we have. And so I'm telling you guys all this because I really encourage you to dream big and think about the people who maybe upon first glance, you think they wouldn't want this, or you think they don't need this. Because I was that person. People would have looked at me, an outsider looking in, and been like, she has a great job. She has a great career, not a job. I have a great career. I have a beautiful home, a wonderful family, go on vacations, like all the things. And most people would have looked at me and been like, she would never do anything like this. But this is exactly what I needed. I wanted something where I could stretch myself. I could really put my money where my mouth is as far as my level of faith, exercising high levels of faith. And this opportunity gave me the ability to do those things much more than I would have ever been able to in the field of education. And it helped me to create bigger ripple effects of change than I ever would have been able to as an educator. And so this has just been truly one of the biggest blessings and the best career decision I've ever made. And I share that because if you're on this call and you're even considering, should you take this? Should you do this at all? Or should you even think about taking it all the way? I am 100% living proof that if you put your mind to something and you believe, the biggest predictor of whether or not someone will succeed or not is the belief that they can do it. And that was the one thing I was like, I believe that I can. I was like, if all these other jokers could do this, I can do this. So I believed that I could. And so I really want to open this call up now to anyone who has questions about the opportunity. If anybody wants to share a little bit about where they are, kind of what they're thinking as it relates to the opportunity, if they are thinking about sharing, if they've already started sharing what they're experiencing, this is an opportunity for you. So please feel free to unmute yourself. We have about 12 minutes.
Hi, Robin. This is Letha
Hey,
Avery.
Lisa.
I
How are
just,
you? Congratulations on going silver.
I know, I just text Krista and I was like, oh my gosh, she is so speaking.
Hold on, Letha. What'd you say? She is so speaking what? You kind of broke up. Where'd you go? Do y'all hear her or is it just me? Y'all don't hear her either?
No, Letha, where are
years,
you?
28
Okay.
years.
Letha,
Yes.
start over, sweetie. You said you texted Krista and you said she's so speaking my, and
I
then
said
went,
you were speaking to me, like
oh, okay.
your just whole testimony, like you're talking now. I was like, you're speaking to me. So
Oh.
what you were saying, I was just kind of relating to what you were saying, just being an educator. So I teach our military children
Okay.
on base. So, and that what you were saying is like pretty much where I am. Like this is like such a blessing, being in this organization and the support that I mean, I've done other network marketing businesses in the past, and none of those compares to the leadership and just the collaboration and working. And I'm just like blown away. So I just want to say that, you talking tonight is really getting me to start thinking about my next steps, because that is where I am in my walk. Like 28 years is a long time being an educator. And I'm at the point where, I'm close to retirement. And I've just been praying on some things really, really, really strong, asking God to lead me into that next direction where what is it that I need to do? And I feel like I need to be of service. As educators, that's what we do.
Yeah.
We serve, we do all of these things. So, I just feel so full, and I'm just really blown away. And I'm just trying to just make sure that I'm doing what I need to do to continue to grow in this business. And hopefully, I don't know, we'll just keep doing what we're doing, what I'm doing, and getting trained. Krista has just been amazing. So yeah, I don't want to take up too much time because there may be others that want to share, but
well, I
thank
so
you.
appreciate you sharing, Letha. I do want you to shift a little bit of your thinking when you say, hopefully we'll see.
I know.
No,
I-
no.
Just
You
claim it.
100% have to believe that this is for you. Like you feel full for a reason.
Right.
there's a reason why you feel full. There's a reason why whatever I said today, which is honestly totally different than what I said last month. I mean, every day, every month I say something different. It's all the same story, but it's just, it comes from a different place because I'm in a different place that day, right? So something hits me in a different way and I speak to it differently. And so whatever I said, it was supposed to obviously resonate with you because it did. And so I just really want to encourage you to claim this. If you feel like, man, this is so different, there's a reason why it's so different. Our team is very, very special and unique. And we honestly have a very anointed team. Like God is all over this journey. That I know for sure. 100%. And so it's one of the reasons why I feel that people join our community and they do feel like this is different. Something's different about this. So you claim this, you are in great hands with Krista. She is one of the most amazing leaders on our team. And I just encourage you to dream big and take this all the way. You 100% can do this.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it so, so much. I can't wait to meet you in person. Anybody else have anything they want to share or ask questions about? Unmute yourself. Don't be afraid to share. Anybody have anybody new that they want to nudge a little bit? Kindly nudge. We don't want to put anybody on Front Street, but that is what this call is for. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys for hopping on, for being on this call. Oh, I think Renee is saying, Allison, do you want to share just a little bit? Tell us where you're from. Tell us what your experience is with the product. You don't have to if you don't want to, but
Hello.
hey,
I'm sorry. Did you say? Sorry, you really caught me off guard there. I wasn't
I'm so
expecting that.
sorry, Renee. You know that my girl Renee, she said your name in the comments, so that got me to saying your name out loud. So
Oh, she's in trouble now.
well, she is an amazing part of our community and our team, and so I'm sure you feel the way I feel about her. So I just want you to feel safe in this community to share kind of why you're here and what you've experienced so far with Plexus.
So so I met Renee through our daughters, or actually were at Ball State together last year. So I haven't gotten to physically meet her yet.
Oh,
I
wow.
get to
Okay.
do that next week. So I'm really looking forward to that. So she just was sharing and sharing and sharing on Facebook and just sharing, a little bit, nothing big. And so finally, after a while, I just kind of reached out to her to kind of talk about it. And I thought, hey, I might as well, give it a try. I have a lot of gut issues.
Okay.
I've always had a lot of stomach issues. Just the bloating, the stomach, the whole restroom. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give it a try. And I have to say, it's gone really well. I think I'm on, Renee, you might have to keep me honest. I think I'm on like week number 2 or 3. I tell you, at my age, the weeks go by so quickly.
I know. I understand.
And there's so much going on. But so I've really enjoyed it. I just ordered some new things to try. I really enjoyed your presentation. I don't think it was last night, but the week or the night before.
The product call, the
about the product call. Yes, the 30 minutes. I thought that was great. Great length of time. You got to the point. You really shared the main things about all the products. And so that was definitely a wonderful call. So I just ordered a few things to try, and then I'll get my monthly shipment here in a couple weeks. So yes, I'm looking forward to it.
So Allison, let me ask you, what did Renee start you out with? What have you been taking over the past couple weeks that you've been starting the products?
So the sample pack, and you know what? I'm so thrown off guard. I can't even think. Renee, could
Is
you
it the triplex? Like the Slim, the probiotic, and the BioPlex?
Yes. There's 3 different things. There's
Okay.
2 pills and then the pink drink.
The pink drink.
Yes.
And do you know how many?
Tripex is what she's
the
saying.
triplex. Do you know how many ProBio 5 and BioCleanse you're on now? How many are you taking of the white pills and of the brown ones?
I only take one.
One of each. And you're
Yep.
feeling better with just one of each?
Yes. I know. In fact, Renee and I were just talking about that earlier today via text that I
Wow.
had told her. Yeah. So
Really?
she said I can take like up to 4, I want to say. I'd have to go back and read the
Yes,
text.
yes, you can.
But
And I
yeah.
honestly recommend it. Work your way up. You're obviously easing into it, which is good. But if
Yes.
you've had, a history of gut issues, you really want to detox your entire system, like cleanse your body, completely detox and kill off a lot of that candida yeast that is probably causing the root cause of the gut issues. I talked about that on the
Mhm.
call a couple nights ago.
Yes,
So
you
yeah,
did.
let
Yes.
her walk you through going up to really the loading dose. That's really what you need.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I always like to start things low.
Yes,
So, like,
yes,
yeah, because a
100%.
lot of these products in the past have like I don't know, like given me headaches or made me feel shaky or things like that. And so, and I work in the pharma industry, so I'm always like wanting to start low on things and kind of build up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Well, we're so happy to have you a part of the community. I'm so glad you're already starting to feel a difference just within a couple weeks, and especially considering you're only taking 1 of those capsules. I know you're going to feel so much better when you start upping your dosage. So,
Okay, I'll start
excited
that
to
tomorrow.
hear more in the weeks to come.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being brave and unmuting yourself.
Sure, thank you.
Anybody else? We've got maybe, 2 more minutes. Anybody else have something they want to share or a question they want to ask? Okay. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys for hopping on 2 calls back to back tonight. I really appreciate you, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening and a wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody. Love y'all.
Bye, Robin. Bye. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Bye.